So we go to the fishing screen, we press T, and we want to go forward 18 hours. And OK, and that will take us on to the next day. Now when you go past midnight, as you'll see in a second, when you go past midnight, when you go onto the extra day, you'll get this screen, and it will show all the fish caught. They're actually in the order that they were caught there, I believe, as well. So we had 16 fish in total, one of which escaped, 0 line breaks. We did have 2 snags and didn't break the line on either one. No trophies yet, no other breaks for any other reason. Other breaks would be reel and rod. Line breaks is a separate thing. No unique fish, never caught a unique fish yet. We did see that guy catch a unique bluegill, nearly £3 in weight, £2.5. But this gives the running total so far. So today's results, it means by like today is the pay for yesterday. So we've got 141 XP, 115 credits, and if we go and check our line now, we'll see our line's empty again and ready for another day of fishing. And that money has already been given to us. So each day we fish, you get the money. And we are on 2,281 XP out of 2,500. Now I haven't sat here and got 2,281 XP. Like 0 out of 2,500 is not where level 8 starts. Level 8 starts a couple of hundred XP ago. When I get to level 9, it'll say 2,500 out of whatever the XP is to get to level 10. So we want to go to the map here because we actually want to change location. We're at this top location at the minute. We want to go down to the bottom here. Click go fishing, and that'll move us down to the bottom. Here we go. This area is called Pike Challenge, and that is exactly what we are going to do. So we go into the screen. I'm going to keep this casting spoon on at the moment. And we'll... Actually, no, let's change to the medium spoon. I'll try our luck with that. I know the casting spoon works, you see, so I'm trying things that I haven't done yet before. Now, to catch, this area of the river is shallow, so you can actually stand in the river. And to catch the pike, that's exactly what I do. Stand in the river. And then I do an accurate cast here, so right click. And the pike are going to be in those reeds there on the left. So you go past the reeds, and then tuck the line in. On it about there, drop the drag down, reel speed up, and flick it in. Okay, perfect. And then it's just the same as the bass. Okay, and all we're doing, we're pointing towards those reeds again. We want to drag it past the reeds. Going straight to slow at the moment. With the pike, you can increase the speed a little bit. I'm actually going to put a bit more drag on the line there as well. The pike do hit hard. You really have to watch the tension. But nothing on that attempt. Let's try again. For some reason that didn't go very far. Just in by those reeds. I am actually casting past the reeds, but it's a little hard to tell here. And we seem to have ourselves a troll. Typing in chat the question, how do you type in chat? Well, as Shadowbite put it there, I think you just did. Some tension there, that's a pike. Immediately get the drag up. So it's striking out of the reeds there, and then it will take it off into the deep water. Yep, and there we go. There's a pike. 8 XP. No restrictions on it because I've got the full license. Although it's grass pickerel that is restricted here, so chain pickerel I would be able to keep anyway. And now we'll put that on the keep line. Let's go see how much it's worth. So there we go. Medium spoon, quarter ounce, hook number 1. Caught at midday, £1.2 pretty much. 17 inches, all but a few $5, 8 XP, so they're not worth as much as the bass. Well, actually, saying that, this is about the same size as the young bass we're catching, and he's slightly more value. The young bass we caught were $4 or $5. This one's $5. Little less XP, so there's that to bear in mind. The big bass will get you the money and the XP. But we're here, 5-day trip, so we're going to get plenty of these. 1.2 pound of these, you're going to get 14, 15 of these fish on at 5, even at 5 credits each, 14, 15 fish that size, that value. You're going to get quite a nice amount of money there. Remember, we've already been paid yesterday's amount. And we just go the same spot again. Just tucking it into the reeds there. And then pointing in. And reeling. But you see how hard these... There we go, straight away. We actually got the clicks on the reel that time. You don't always get that. You have to watch the tension when it's pike. This might not be a pike, of course. It could be a bass. We'll see. That's another chain pickerel there. 1.3 pounds, that one. A bit bigger. 8 XP. We'll keep him. 17.6 inch. Very nice. Didn't quite get the cast as good as it could have been there, but it went to the right spot. Just drop that drag down again and start reeling in. Now, the reason I don't have very much drag to start with is if the fish strikes hard, you don't want it to snap the line. That was a strike there. There we go. You see how he didn't actually get the clicks until I made the action with the rod. That's when we then got the clicks. The pike will strike fast, and you have to... They'll tease it first. They will just hit it, and you've got to watch that tension, because they will hit it and they'll be off. You've got to watch the tension. You've got to watch for that strike. If you miss the strike with the pike, that's it. It's gone. That's crap. Reel that back in. reel it again into these reeds. This is where the pike are going to be. They're going to be striking from the reeds. They're going to be waiting for smaller fish to come by or to enter the reeds. That's where they're going to hunt. They're going to hunt where they've got all the advantages. There we are. There's a strike. Increase that drag. Bring it in. Oh, this one's fighting. It is a pike. There we go. Another chain pickerel. Drop that drag again. Reel it in. Nice medium spoon, I think it's level 5 or 6, maybe level 7, 8. The medium spoons, they are of a higher level. I just yanked the rod there because there was a flutter of tension. I may have missed a strike there. The medium spoons are a higher level spoon, but that's not to say that you can't succeed with a normal casting spoon. It's just I'm using this one. I know that the casting spoon works, so I wanted to try the medium spoon. Medium spoon always is also working. You can never expect to get even on a premium lure, you should never expect that every time you cast, even if it's the same spot like I'm doing, that you should get a fish every cast. It depends on the technique, it depends on the timing, if the fish is there or not. If the fish just isn't there, then you're not going to catch anything. But if you keep casting the same spot, eventually there will be a fish there. Unless you're just completely in the wrong place. Standing at the bank and dipping a spoon right in the shallow, you're not going to get anything. You're not even going to get bluegill doing that. Well, the bluegill don't go for this, but you know what I mean. You've got to get it in the right spot in the first place, but even if you're fishing in the right spot, you're not going to get the fish landing every cast. You just keep going. Just keep casting, keep reeling in. You can actually do this without a casting or spinning rod. If you've got the telescopic, if you go and stand up by that log, put some minnows on your hook, and slowly drag the float. You can float the bait down the river. Pike will still go for it. It's not the chosen method for pickerel fishing, but it does work. This is how I do it. You see that with this rod we can cast all the way up to those reeds that were at... that's actually up by the other fishing spot. That's how far this rod can cast. Just going to check what's going on with my scrolling text there, because it seems to have overlapped itself. No, just OBS being OBS. Let's keep reeling in. Straight slow. Seems to be that the bass and the pike will go for a straight slow. Stop and go being mastered there. Straight slow, stop and go. Okay, so let's go see how much we've earned in pike so far. So there we are, 4 pike, 22 credits. If this was a single day, we'd now be halfway to paying towards the total fishing trip. If you were coming on one day, that would cost you 25-30 credits, so 4 or 5 chain pickerel, you've paid for your fishing trip. It's as easy as that. And 4 or 5 chain pickerel, we're at 4 or 5 pounds of weight as well. They're roughly averaging out about a pound in weight each fish. Got a couple there worth 6 credits, with the 1.2, 1.3, bit more XP for those as well. So yeah, statistic wise, we are 189 XP from leveling up, so we're getting close. So we'll go back there. I'm just going to leave the chat running as I get myself a drink. I will be back 2 seconds, guys. Don't go away. Okay, and we're back, guys. Took the opportunity to go to the toilet at that little break there as well. But yeah, so back to the pike. You see, it's going to take more pike to earn the same kind of money and XP as it did with the bass, but you can get more on the line because they weigh less. That's a lot of people catching bluegill just there. Let's reel this line in. Let's change tactic. So that's the narrow. We'll change to ordinary casting spoon just to show that it is possible to catch pike at the lower level. I have caught pike on this casting spoon. Whether I will right now is yet to be seen, but I have caught them in the past. I'm going to start reeling in. We're going to point towards that log so that the lure goes into the reeds, or just past the edge of the reeds. That's where the pike are going to be lurking, remember? We're actually reeling quite quickly here, so there we go, straight slow. That's better. I'd have to drop the reel speed down. So we were going a straight reel most of the time there. Okay, I'm going to drop it down to reel speed 1. A little jerk every now and again as well. Now we're on the bottom. We don't want to be on the bottom for the pike. Really. We want to be... There may have been a strike there that I let go, I'm not sure. Didn't say that the fish got off. Could have just been tension from me yanking the rod. We'll reel in again. So all we do is every few feet stop reeling, let the lure settle, let the line go a bit slack, and then take up the slack. That's all we're doing. You just keep doing that. If you do it right, then that should get you either a straight or a straight slow technique. I'm not getting it at the moment. I think that's because I'm not pulling in straight to the rod. I think you have to be pulling in straight to the rod to get this straight as well. There we go, as soon as I went straight. Okay, so we're not getting anything at the moment. Let's try... Let's try the reeds over the other side though. Apologies for the loud vehicle coming past. That's even with my windows closed. I do live on a ground floor flat, and there are a set of lights a couple of houses down from me. And it's not officially a dual carriageway, but people do treat it as a dual carriageway. Okay, good night, Zebra. Thanks for joining, thanks for coming to watch. Hope you've enjoyed it. No fish at the moment. What I might actually do is change and see if we can get some bass down here. You can get pike on that spoon though, I have done it in the past. Let's try casting over there. No, just doesn't seem to be the time for the bass or the pike. Maybe it's too cold for them. I don't know. I know the temperature and sunlight and things does affect when you're going to get the fish out. Maybe all the fish are up in the other section at the moment. Let's jump up to the other... no. We'll go to I. Let's switch to rod 2. We've got cut bait on there at the minute. Let's try... let's just try for some smaller fish. Take the cut bait off. And let's put on some cheese. Yeah, we'll put on some cheese. And we'll put... go with hook 8. Bigger the number, smaller the hook. We haven't got the biggest one. The smallest hook, that's hook 10. That's in our storage, so we'd have to end the fishing trip to go get that. But let's see if we can get anything. This is a slightly different rod that you'd use for float fishing as well. This is your more everyday rod that you'd see people taking maybe to the riverbanks and stuff. It's the match rod. And there's something... There's definitely some weeds or something just off the bank of the river there. There's two ways you can change the length of the thing. You can press O and P. P makes it longer, O makes it shorter. This is the amount of line that is beneath the float. This better describes it. You've got the hook and the distance to the float. So we're going to go fairly near the top. We'll try about 25. We're going for the small fish. They're going to be floating around the top. They're going to be taking the insects and things off of the water at the top. And we're going to aim for those reeds just there. You see them under the water surface. And that was a crap cast. It's better. No, too far. We can just gently drag it into place. There we go, that's where we want it. And the line snagged in the reeds. So let's try this. Give a bit of line. Full drag. And nope, we broke the line. Which means we not only lost a bit of line, we lost the hook. And we lost that bait as well. Maybe not the best idea. Or maybe we need to be closer to the surface. Maybe we were too far down into those reeds. So let's shorten that even more. We're on cheese. We've got plenty of cheese, so just keep putting it on there. Try to get it on the edge of those reeds rather than right on top. Bait was pulled too far away from the fish, so there we go. So there are fish there. There you go. Now that we've stopped, you can see the bobber wobbling. They are nibbling. And now we're snagged. So the fish must have taken that in, or it drifted down the river. And that is broken the line again. And so what we're going to do is just go to the top section here. Hopefully the game doesn't crash while we switch. There we are. Have not any assembled rods. Yes, we do. So, there we go. Bass jig again. Let's just try. Casting to the side here. Let's drop that drag and reel in. There we go. See it jumping out the water there. That tension gets high, just give it a stun. And there we go, 1.8 largemouth bass. Put that on the keep line. So we'll just do this cast here, and then I'm going to switch to the medium spoon up here and see what we can get. Just going to respond to this. That is a fish, maybe? Yep. Young largemouth bass. I'm actually going to throw him back. I'm still going to get the XP for catching it. I'm going to throw that back. We're not quite at the peak for this cloudy day either yet, so do have to bear that in mind. And that 2 feet in. Okay, so we can open the chart. It says day 1 here, but this is like day 1 means current day, so it means the next day. Although we're on day 2 of 5, we're not on day 2 here, we're on day 1, current day. It means 2 days from now, 3 days from now, 4 days from now. It's a little bit confusing. You get the same if you press map as well. But that is 12:55 is just here, so we should be peaking over the next couple of in-game hours. And I didn't change to the casting spoon like I said I was going to. Okay, after this cast, we'll change to the medium spoon. I keep catching things, so so I didn't change the lure. There we go, fish on. Let's go. It's a big one. There it is, jumping out. There we go. £2, we'll keep him. Now we'll go and see how much he's worth for starters. So $13 for each of those. Hello. I am going to be doing a lot of talking, gamer, because I'm kind of, it's an interactive thing for YouTube. Yeah, 13 credits for each of those, 6 credits for each of the pike, so basically the bass is worth twice as much as the pike. Around about the same XP though. So let's change the lure over. We're going to change that over to the medium spoon. See if we can catch anything up here with the medium spoon. Now the reason that number 2 has gone red is because I haven't put the hook and bait back onto my match rod. We'll go to the same area. That side of the river there. Cast it out. Drop that tension, reel speed 2. And off we go again. Pointing it into the reeds there as well. We want to drag it past the reeds. That's where the fish are. Although on a shady day like this, they may also be out in the main channel. We've got a good, straight, slow technique going. Now, as I've said, there we go, fish on. As I've said, the technique doesn't always guarantee that you're going to get the fish just because you're mastering a technique. You are more likely, though. It does affect the catch percentage. The game froze up a second there. Let's reel this guy in. Come here. There we go. 1.9. That's another keeper. And that was a normal largemouth as well, 1.9 largemouth. So even on the spoons, you don't have to have the bass jigs. Even on the spoons, you will get the largemouth. Just drop that drag down again. Obviously the bass jig is designed for the bass, so you've got a higher chance of getting the bass on the bass jig. But, there we go. I want to give a bit of line, take up that slack. And released. Let me just carry on reeling. It's just a bit of tension from the reeds there. There's not a fish on at the moment. Need to get that technique back. Does give a higher chance, but it's not necessary. There we go. Fish on. Young largemouth. We'll get the XP. We're actually going to throw him back though. Release. Let's just check on that XP. See how we're doing. Another 148. We're getting there. It's gonna happen, folks. This is all you do. That was a pretty crap cast. How far is that going? 140. Yeah, we can use that. It's not 180. What? 104. I say it's a crap cast. That's what I was casting on my previous rod. because it was a shorter rod. Shorter rod and I had less line on the reel. This rod, this setup, you cast about 180, 190 feet, nearly 200 on maximum cast. If you get that perfect distance, there we go, another fish. This is medium spoon. Remember, we're not actually using a bass jig. We're using bass fishing techniques. This is not a bass jig, and that is a nice largemouth bass. 1.8 coming up in the chat, yep, because it's not rounding down. We'll keep that one. I'm going to throw it right out there now. Almost a maximum cast. There you go, 187, 190 feet. Getting that line way out there so you've got more chance to drag it in. That's all it is you've got more chance to get that technique going. You've got the lure in the water for longer if you're casting it out further. We've got a stop and go going at the minute. Straight slow now. Just past where we cast out that previous cast. Keep reeling it in. Should be in the reeds now. There we go. Just drop that drag off a bit. That was a lot. That was a big strike from the fish there. Could have a trophy on the line here. Possibly. Maybe. At least £2, I would think. Yep. 1.9. He's a keeper. Oh, we're going to go for that far bank again this time. Cast it right out there. Let the lure get settled. There we go. If you start reeling in before the lure has got to the bottom of the river, you won't get it to get to the bottom. You've got to stop and let it sink. And then when you're dragging in, there we go, fish in, right in the middle of the water. Fish on rather, fish in. What am I on about? Look at that bow, the bow in the rod there, the bend in the rod. There it is, coming to the surface. 1.8. We'll keep that. Let's just check on that line, the keep line. Oops. So the next fish is going to keep us, but again, 100 credits. I think it's an alpha. I hit the semicolon there rather than the L, but we're going to change the bass jig. Actually, we're going to change the spinner. And what this spinner lure does is it spins as you pull it through the water as well, so it gives even more motion to the lure, and as a result, the fish should be an increased chance of the fish going for it. Gonna go on this left hand side again because we know that's where the fish are. We're getting a bit of tension on the line there. I think there may have been some interest. Not sure. May have just been... Yep. No. Maybe we've got a fish following the line at the minute. Yep, that's definitely a fish. There we go. Young one. See the way the lure's made there, so it spins round as you pull it through the water. I'm going to release that one, because that would fill our keep line, and he's only a little one. He's not going to be worth much. We want a big fish to go over. So that's the spinner. Now we're going to go full base jig. Bass jig, rather. People making drop the bass jokes earlier. It's got me calling the bass base now. I know it's spelt the same, but one of those things, depends what you mean. It's spelt the same, but it's a different word. Like, same word spelt the same as a different word. Just going to answer the lemur there. There we go, and recast. Out it goes again. And reel it back in. Straight slow again. It seems to be the perfect technique on this rod. With this setup. Remember, once we get to the end of these 5 days fishing, I'll go through the store where you can get all the gear, the mega store. I'll go through the setup I've currently got, because I hopefully will get level 9, and I'll be buying my new rod, so I'll show you how to make a setup. Obviously mine will be higher level gear, but it's the same principle. As I've seen, the lures I've been using, you can get level 3, level 4. The only difference is I've got longer rod and more drag on the reel. But you can certainly catch the fish I've been catching with the level 3 equipment. So don't think you've got to go buying premium. So you get the high level, get the high gear, buy loads of credits. By all means do that if you wish. The option is there. All this is to highlight is that you don't have to do that. But it is your choice. If you want to level up quicker, that is one way of doing it. The way I am leveling up quicker is by mainly bass fishing in this area. Once I've got my money up and I've got my basic New York license, I'll start going out to New York instead. That's a fish. Maybe. No. We missed that one. It would be good for us to get another fish. We are going... We're almost past the peak, I think, of the fishing activity. It is a cloudy day, so it's going to take a longer time for the fish activity to drop off. I'm going to try that far bank again. It's going to take a longer time for the fish activity to drop because it's cooler, because it's cloudy. So we have got a larger window of activity, a larger opportunity for catching. There we go. So, put a bit of line. Tension all the way up, drag all the way up, and yank to the side. There we go, released. Take in the slack and carry on. Thought we maybe had a fish there. Maybe we still do. No. Okay, not to worry. Let's check how we're doing for the time. Just gone 2 PM. Peak starts to drop off at 3, so we're on the peak now. Let's just do a cast bang in the middle of the water. You never know. Peak activity on a cloudy day might be that they're not in the reeds. They don't need to be in the shade because it's cloudy. So, air temperature's cooler, which is making the water cooler. Bit of tension on the reel there from me yanking the rod. Okay, well, maybe that's not what we're getting. Let's go back to the casting spoon. All we want is a sort of 1.8-ish bass, and that'll finish off this second day quite nicely. Pardon me. Now, of course, once we get level 9, we've more than earned enough money for the rod that we're after at level 9. That's not to mean that we have to stop fishing. I'll see what the time's getting on, and see how it goes. There we go, get the straight slow going. I think the straight slow is a better technique for the bass. 100% on that. We have been having some on a stop and go technique, but it's been on the border of stop and go and straight slow. So there we go, stop and go coming up there. Strike timed out, so there was a fish there actually. I should have been watching the tension a bit more. The line went out. Oh, we got a second bite. Okay, we're going to release that one. It's too small. There's some tension on the line. Yep, that's a fish. Immediately get that drag up and reel in the slack line. Another young one. It's not what we want. Really hear the flies and midges on a day like this. As Jack just got a 7.2 pound catfish there. Nice catch. And that's a fish on. Come on. Young one again. It's going to be released. There we go. Another one. Could always be, could be that it's the same young one, of course. We just keep re-releasing it and keep catching it, but I don't know. Another young one. I think these are different weights. So there we go. Let's. This guy says he's been doing drag 3, reel 3. So let's just try that. He says he's just been casting out. He's using a red and yellow 3-inch shad, whereas we're using a lure, but could still go for it. Nope, let's go back to what we know. 2 and 1. In the reeds, come on fish. A nice 2-pounder, and we go on to day 3. Nope, nothing there's that. Let's change our lure. Try the more colourful one. Let it sink down and reel in. There we go. Get that tension up, get that drag up. Not tension. Obviously we need some tension in the line, but we don't want it maximum. This could be a good one. Certainly keeping a strain on the line. Low line tension. When it leapt out the line there, it got off the hook. A sign of a good fish. Should have upped the drag once it leapt. Let's try again. I'm going to keep it out the reeds this time because that fish may still be in the main channel. We might rehook it. There we go. Similar sort of behaviour, could be the same fish, or a similar fish at least. Let's get that drag right up, we don't want to lose it this time. No, drop it down because we don't want to break the reel. There we go. Nice 2-pound. We'll keep that one, and that's going to fill the line. We'll just check that. What we want to check first, 3 PM we're coming up to now, which is the fish are going to drop off now. And our line is full, so how much more XP do we need? That's the question. 79 XP. Let's go on to the next day. Let's just check when it's going to be. It's going to be day 2. As I say, day 1 means the current day, so it's like a 5-day forecast, and when we go on to day 3, what is now day 2 will show as day 1. So here you go as well. It says, in cool, overcast weather, fish tend to become more active in the afternoon. That's why the spread's in the afternoon. Keep this in mind when fishing in such weather. We're going to be fishing sunny, so late summer and early fall. Most productive fishing time is around late morning, early evening, when the sun is high enough. So because we're over... yeah. So that's when the sun is highest. Apparently. So we want to be going about 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock, and then about 3-4 o'clock to 6 o'clock again. We're currently on nearest dam at 3 o'clock, but remember that first 1 hour forwards is going to take us to 3 o'clock. So if we count from 3 and then add an extra hour, that will do the 10 minutes. So we're on 3 o'clock now. We want to go to 6 o'clock.